Welcome to the Light Renegades. My name is Starr. For those that might find themselves here for the first time, thank you and welcome. Today's message is pretty heavy. I find myself channeling Aleister Crowley at this time with regards to disclosing information about the negative reptilian regime and I guess the abuse of children in this world right now and what we are facing and perhaps what we are going to be facing in 2024, everyone. I realize I've just been slightly off all day and I channeled this message really early this morning, but I haven't been guided to film it until this evening, and I haven't been able to shake the energy that I felt channeling this message, and I'm sure you will all come to that space yourself too. So this is just a reminder to please not go into a state of shock or despair. I will share what my teams of light shared with me just before sitting down after I read this channeling, everyone. But today's message was titled The Ritual. Dear loyal participants, today's message isn't one that I wish to share, but it is important to understand the full truth and extent of what you are dealing with in this given space and time. The ritualistic abuse of children is happening every single day in the corners of this world. There are beings in the dark that understand the purity of such divine creatures and take their essence for their own. My message today is to express that familiar faces you know and love are tied into this regime. These are people in power, even some you believe to be working for the light. There are those that have been strategically placed to be false hope, pillars of light. We are coming to a time where you will have to use your discernment wisely. The world will be telling you to move in such a way that no longer resonates with you at your core center any longer. You'll be guided to believe this and that when you know in your heart all that is truly happening. I bring this forward to you now so that you can start to make preparations for yourself and your families. I'm going to read that again. When you will know in your heart all that is truly happening, I bring this forward to you now so that you can start to make preparations for yourself and your families. There will come a time where you wish to leave the old world behind. There will come a time when nothing and none of this in this mainstream will resonate with you any longer. The question for many is, then what? This is why community is so important. This community is so important. Knowledge of energy, understanding of unity consciousness is so important. We will be paving a new path. This will be creating our own spaces of light to join together in those spaces. I see many of you asking, what can I do? How does this affect me? What about the children? The best thing you can do, any soul alive right now, is to send a loving frequency to everything that is of darkness. Do not be consumed by the perceived suffering. Remember, a soul is eternal. It will move past its pain and suffering to return to the light once more. Those trapped in the liminal spaces of suffering are being released now by beings of divine light. I am able to help reach those spaces as it was my words, my intentions at one time that sent them there. You are feeling the shifts. Many of you are feeling the shifts. The room for more, the expanse, the idea of being light at the end of the tunnel. Continue to let your soul and spirit shine, for it is the most powerful in this state of ever-changing circumstances. There are worldly situations in the fine balance. We are doing all that we can, those in darkness of light and those in galactic realms, to help shift the course of future devastation. Do not sink into fear, for it is the fear that perpetuates an outcome of doom or terror. This is what they wish. They show devastation. They share ideas of secret locations and societies now to instill fear. Know your light and your vibration outweigh anything that they have behind closed doors. We are eradicating the legions of darkness. We are eradicating the most powerful, the false prophets that are yet to come. We are eradicating the legions of darkness. We are eradicating the most powerful. The false prophets are yet to come, but I have no doubt in my mind you will see through the lies. 2024 is going to be an adventurous year. It won't be a year without suffering. However, remember you are the light and you can seed as much joy as you wish in the ever darkest hours. Again, this message is not to instill fear, but a layer of hope that you can control your reactions to what's to come. You will always be in the light, always. Have no fear, a crow. And again, this is definitely a message that had galactic realms and teams of light written all over it, everyone. And I think that I've been sat with a layer of, I guess, just, I think, disbelief to some extent. And also, I think, I guess a feeling of, I knew this was coming, but I don't think I was quite prepared for how it's here now. And, you know, Crow is asking us to make preparations for ourselves and our families. And I asked if I could be given more information with regards to that right now. And Teams of Light said it's not possible. So I think let's all just have in mind that, you know, there's going to be a lot of changes in 2024, and yesterday in Crow's message, you know, he said the collapsing of some structures is going to take place, and I think we just have to be incredibly mindful of what we are sensing at this time in our own personal journeys, and incredibly mindful of those around us, and perhaps what is being shown to us on the news, and what we want to take at face value, and that which we, you know, can read between the lines on, and perhaps that which, you know, they are hinting at, but they are not telling us the full truth at this time. And there has been a few things brought to my attention this week, and I just thought it's been hidden in plain sight for a real long time. And in my space of the Darkness series, I brought forward a movie that's just been released, which is called Leave the World Behind. And I watched this movie and I became incredibly angry. And it blew my mind just how blatant these beings are with regards to where they believe themselves to be at this time. And, you know, I put all faith and trust in Teams of Light and Galactic teams right now with regards to them, you know, collapsing timelines for spaces that will be, you know, utter devastation and destruction. And, you know, I have seen those timelines, and, you know, they assured me that that was not going to be the case. But I definitely think the years to come are going to be something, everyone. And, you know, perhaps not everybody that's watching these videos will be in a space that is safe, in terms of where you are in the world. But, trust that you and yours will be safe, you will be looked after, you will be protected, and, you know, whatever happens outside of that, we just have to trust is in the highest vibration for all. And I was hesitant to bring this forward because I really didn't want this to be a layer of fear for anyone that is watching, but at some point along in this journey, I decided that I had to let go of this idea of, I guess, staying alive. And, you know, I said really early on, you know, I would do anything for this path. I would, you know, sacrifice life for this path. And I there's no two ways about that within me, how I feel, because I know where I go, I know where my soul goes, and, you know, I have ultimate faith and trust in that. And I want you all to have that same level of trust and faith and understanding moving forward. And this is not to say that any of you are going to lose your life, but I think we have to be of that understanding that we just trust exactly what is happening to us in our life and whatever is to come. And I think this is to allow us to not be infiltrated by anything of darkness. And I brought this forward in so many spaces, but this idea of fearing death is where this darkness has a true hold over us. And, you know, the amount of fear mongering that is just out there daily. You know, there was a long time ago that I stopped looking at newspapers, you know, reading anything of a negative vibration, watching the news, walking away when I heard the radio come on with the news. It was just, I didn't enjoy how much sadness was brought forward constantly, and I didn't understand why that was the case. Of course, there is things that we should know about with regards to what is happening in the world, but I just thought, why is the news just full of destruction? And that was something I could never get my head around. And, you know, it's a fear tactic. And I think that is what we are going to be faced with in the coming months and weeks, as things coming forward that I guess supposedly is happening somewhere, but not necessarily in the way that it's being brought forward to us, everyone. And I think anything that we are being shown right now on the news is of the understanding of the higher powers at this time. Anything that's been going on in the world has been strategically placed for us to be kept captive. That is my belief on it all, and the information that I get from my teams of light. And, you know, I don't necessarily have the same understandings as most out here right now. And I think most of you that are watching right now, you will understand what I'm trying to say within that, is that we see life in a very different way. And, you know, we see through the black and white that they are trying to bring forward to us, and we know that there is an incredibly grey area that they're actually in control over. And I think we are going to have to move forward with our understandings and our faith and our trust in our understandings and what we believe and know to be the truth, everyone. And, you know, I say this with the most amount of confidence in teams of light and galactic teams especially. And, you know, I know that they are doing all that they can to make sure that we are safe and for this to go as smoothly as possible, but things are going to have to shift. And I think, you know, some people will be in for a rude awakening in some spaces. And also I think there is going to be many things brought to our attention that just aren't true and aren't truly what is happening, everyone. And I hope that I'm able to grab more information tomorrow. I will spend some time tonight combing through what I can. But I think going back through Crow's messages is going to help us. I think he's said a lot whilst not saying too much at the same time. And I think it was to gear us up to be prepared for the next phase of everything, everyone. I feel like life is not going to look the same after... well, this year, I think we've been gearing up for a catapulting of energy. And, you know, this great area that I spoke about before, where I felt like I couldn't just see into the future, you know. And I think that was for purpose somewhere. But also, I think that there are things in the fine balance, like they say. And, you know, they don't know exactly what's going to happen, but they are trying their best. And I think we just have to put ultimate faith in ourselves and our light, and, you know that souls are eternal. Whatever is happening, devastation that is happening, they are circling back around, and, you know, they are here to help and support us no matter what realms they are in. And I was walking into town the other day, and it was like the heavens had opened up. I could see a space between the clouds, and I could just see this light beaming down. And it was like I was watching so many beings drop down here. And I think that's when I felt the switch within me, and I was like, oh, it's time. Like, you know, the army is here, and we're going to have to fight something. And 2 days ago, I was brought into a space with... Galactic Federation, Galactic Alliance, and, you know, they said, are you willing to be in more spaces, to be, you know, fighting for the children and bringing them back from spaces of darkness? And, you know, I said, of course, like, as long as I am in balance with everything else, and you can make that be something that comes with ease for me, I'm of course happy to do that. And, you know, I didn't really think about that too much. Of course, my first instinct is to say yes, but now that I circle back, knowing what I know now from this message, I'm realizing that everything is shifting from the core center of the earth, is what I want to say. So there's going to be radical shifts that we experience, because there is going to be things that we haven't had to face yet this lifetime, and specific things that powers that be that are going to bring forward to induce fear. And we're going to have to be really strong to not believe in what they are posing to us, everyone, is what I'm feeling. I'm not getting exactly what, because I think us knowing too much causes the changes the course of action with regards to what teams of light can do behind scenes. But that is as much as I'm getting energetically that I feel like I can share right now. And please have no fear within this. And, you know, I will get as much information as I can. But yeah, we're in for change, everyone, is what I want to share. And please trust in yourself and your power and your ability to alchemize anything and any energy that comes before you, is what I want to share. So double down on yourself, self-care, and the love that you have for those around you. I think it's going to be incredibly important for us to stay in a community as, you know, the highest vibration, and to be spreading that as far and as wide as we can, because we are in the know. We are the ones that are awake, and, you know, there is only so much that we can do singly, but together we are stronger. And I think we're going to be teaming up with more as time goes on, everyone. I think there's going to be groups of people guided towards each other, to be working with each other within these realms, to be creating more of a sense of community. I think this idea of competition and, you know, perhaps what we thought was going to happen in the coming years, I just don't think is going to be the case. And I think it is going to be a point of call of all of us coming together and shining as much light as we can on the darkness to truly shift everything, everyone. But that's all that I've got for today. I will be back tomorrow, but please take care and go easy with self and these messages. And yeah, I will bring us forward as much information as I can tomorrow, everyone.